It's time for you to grow up, join the real world, and finally get a job. Did you think that you were going to be able to just use your parents' money for the rest of your life? Well, I'm not going to stand by and do nothing while you freeload your way through life. It's pathetic.
Wait, what is this all about me getting a job? I do work. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? I know that all you do is spend your time going out to things like concerts all the time. I've heard all about it from Mom. She told me all about how you've been traveling to all of the country just to go and see some of these shows. And all on Mom and Dad's dime, huh? You must really have no shame.
I do go to a lot of concerts, yes, but it isn't Mom and Dad who are paying for them. Besides, I do have a job and I'm allowed to spend my money however I'd like. I don't know why you think you have a right to tell me what I should or shouldn't be doing with my money.
Do you ever get tired of lying right through your teeth like that? I know for a fact that you're home basically all day just goofing off and being a bum. You quit your job and ever since then, you've been at home and refused to take any responsibility. Can you please just stop with all of these lies already?
Why won't you listen to me? What would I have to gain from lying to you?
I don't need to listen to you, because I hear all about what you're really doing from Mom and Dad. They are getting fed up with having you around the house at all hours of the day, never giving them any kind of break from you. I even heard them say that they want you to find a job right away.
Did Mom really say that about me? She said that I need to find a job?
That's right. She's sick of having you leech off her and not contribute anything. And I'm shocked that you could even do something like that. I thought you had more pride than be a total bum all day. But instead, you just force our parents to pay for whatever it is, whatever concert you want to go to, without care in the world. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Carrie.
Wait, Elena. I really think that there has to be some kind of mistake here.
There's no mistake, and I'm sick and tired of your excuses. If you have all of this time to make reason why can't you work, then you should be out there looking for a job instead. Or at least be out there looking for a rich man who can give you what you've been taking from Mom and Dad.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I'm your younger sister, in my 20s, and even I'm married. But you're well into your 30s and are basically an old maid at this point. You don't want to wait too long for these things or else you might miss your chance for the right marriage.
Well, first of all, I don't really even want to be married. So I don't feel any pressure of a ticking clock or anything like that.
Yeah, that sounds like something someone who isn't able to find anyone to marry them would say. You can't just be honest with me and say that you really want to get married. I don't know why you have to be trying so hard pretending to be this person that you're really not. Maybe if you just stopped all the lying and tried to be more genuine with people, you wouldn't be such a loser.
Excuse me? And just how am I a loser, huh?
I'm not going to retype everything that I just said, but suffice it to say that I can't just sit back and watch you act like this anymore. I can't sit back and watch you do this to Mom and Dad anymore. You need to either get a job or get married. I don't care which. But I'm not going to let this go on without saying anything anymore.
Hey, Mom, if you have a problem with living with me, I really wish that you would just come out and say it to me. I don't want to hear this kind of stuff because you were grumbling about it to Elena.
Grumbling? Carrie, what on earth are you talking about? I have no idea what this could be about.
I've already heard it all from Elena, Mom. She told me about how you complain to her about living with me every day, and that you feel like I'm not giving you any room.
Oh my gosh, did Elena really go and tell you all of those things? What is she thinking coming to you with those kinds of complaints?
She was worried for you and Dad, and that's why she told me all of what you were saying. But from the way she made it sound, you're already really sick and tired of having to live with me.
Now look, Carrie, we're family, and I think we all reserve some right to grumble about each other to other family. Besides, I don't think that I did anything by expressing some frustrations to Elena when she doesn't even want to live with us.
Well, I don't get why you were making those complaints to her in the first place. I mean, the whole reason that I'm home so often is because I work from home, and the reason I do that is because you insisted on me finding a job to allow me to do so. You're the reason that I'm home all the time, don't you get that?
Oh, please. You make it sound like as if I forced you to do all of that. I didn't do anything of the sort. You could have just said no if you wanted to.
Are you kidding me? You literally threatened me if I didn't. It all started 2 years ago when you fell and broke your leg. I didn't mind letting you and Dad move in with me then, but then you started to talk about about how dangerous it was for older people to be left at home alone. That's when you started insisting that I could find a job that I could do from home. You told me that if I didn't do that, the next time you or Dad got hurt, it would be all my fault.
I don't really remember saying any of that to you, though. I'm pretty sure that you were the one who was worried and that you changed jobs all on your own volition.
Are you kidding me with that? That's ridiculous.
Now, don't get me wrong, Carrie. I'm very grateful that you made that decision for us, but still, how can we not feel a little trapped when you're home all day long? And when you work, we feel that we aren't allowed to make any kind of noise until you're done. I mean, we can't even watch TV in our own home anymore because we're worried it would distract you from your work.
Well, that's why I give you and Dad $1,000 a month. You both are more than welcome to take that money and use it to enjoy yourselves outside of the house. After all, you're the one that told me that your retirement money wasn't going to be enough for the two of you to live off of. But if you're not even spending your money on anything, then why am I still giving you money every month?
Well, your father and I would go out more often, but we just feel like it's still not enough to cover all of the expenses. If you really wanted us out of that house badly, I think you would be able to pay us a bit more, don't you think?
If you're already so eager to get out and do things, can I take that to mean that your knees are feeling much better then? Because quite frankly, I'm sick of feeling like I'm the one who's in the way, when I only even started to work from home at your request.
Well, fine then. If it's really that bad, then why not just look for a whole new job, huh? But if you do that, just make sure to give your father and I some more money every month. $1,000 simply isn't going to do it. I think we need at least $1,500.
Are you kidding me? The whole reason that I'm encouraging you two to go out more is because you keep complaining about me working at home. If I'm not working at home, then I'm not paying for you two to go out either. It's one or the other, but you can't have it both ways.
Well, that just won't do. Your father and I have plenty of things that we would like to go out and do. Especially your dad. He's gotten into all kinds of new hobbies thanks to you, and those hobbies cost money. You started all of this, so you follow through with it.
I really can't believe that you're treating me like this.
Just hurry up and find a new job already. One where you'll be able to pay us more than just $1,000. Don't you want your dad to keep enjoying himself in his old age? Anyways, I'm still not back home yet, so I want something warm for dinner, waiting on a table for me when the time I get back home. Hey sis, I just wanted to let you know that I heard the good news. I heard all about how you finally decided to get off your lazy butt and found yourself a job. Not only that, I heard you're already on a business trip and overseas too.
How many times am I going to have to tell you that I was never the jobless shut-in that you thought I was? But yes, if you must know, I am away on a business trip right now. I'm in Australia right now, but since it's in the southern hemisphere, it's still winter here.
Well, you mean they sent you all the way to Australia? And Mom and Dad really bought that story?
What do you mean they bought that story? What story are you talking about?
I mean, that you might have been able to fool those two with such a simple lie, but I see right through it. There is no way that you just start working for somewhere and they're already sending you around the world.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, Elena. I'm literally away on a business trip in Australia right now. There's no lie or trick or anything like that.
Why do you insist on keeping up this game after you've been already caught? You're probably not even in Australia, are you? You're probably just away at some other concert right now. You're lying about this business trip just so that you can go on a trip of your own. You probably haven't even started looking for a job yet, have you? Because even if you did have a job, I can't imagine anyone ever trust you enough to send you across the world like that. That's how I know this whole thing is just a lie. None of this is adding up.
I really don't even know what to say to you anymore, Elena.
Well, I'm just as shocked to think that you're so against working that you would lie to your own family like this, all while spending our parents' money on whatever you want. You are really the lowest of the low.
For the last time, I am not jobless. I literally have a job. I'm employed and you are just making all the wrong assumptions about me based on what Mom has been telling you. I just wish that you would listen to me for once.
And why would I waste any time listening to you when I know you're not going to tell me the truth? You don't even deserve to live with our parents if you're going to treat them like this. I never want you coming back home again. I've already thrown out all of your things, so you don't have a place to come back even if you did.
Wait, what do you mean you've thrown all my stuff away?
Well, you weren't looking for a job or a man, and it's clear you weren't going to change your ways anytime soon. So I knew the only option I had left was to force you out of the house by any means necessary.
And that's why you had to throw away all my belongings?
That's right, and once I did, it was like the whole house breathed a sigh of relief to be finally rid of you. You should see Mom and Dad. It was like they just de-aged by 10 years after realizing they would never have to deal with you again.
Please tell me this is some kind of joke.
It's no joke at all. And after I got rid of all of your stuff, they asked me if my husband and I wouldn't mind moving in with them. Everyone is so happy that you're gone. You would think it was someone's birthday or something. Mom said that she was so happy that we're going to be moving in because it means she might eventually be living with her grandchild.
So Mom and Dad are really that happy that I'll be moving out. And they have no problem with you throwing away all of my stuff either?
I really don't get why you're talking as if you're some kind of victim here. You were always the bad guy, never working, and always making Mom and Dad pay for everything. Can you blame us for never ever wanting to see you again? That's why I had to throw away all of your things to prevent you from ever even thinking about coming back home.
And you're really sure that it's all over? Thank you so much.
Thank you? What do you mean? You're not supposed to be thanking me for this.
But I'll never have to go back home again thanks to you. You have no idea how huge of a favor you've just done me. I don't have to live with Mom and Dad anymore. This must be what it's like to be released from prison after being locked up for so long. Oh, I really just can't thank you enough for this, Elena.
Hold on a second. What's going on here? Did you hit your head or something? I just kicked you out of your own home and you're happy about it? This doesn't make any sense.
Don't worry, I'm feeling just fine, actually. But I was thinking for such a long time of how I could move out of the house without causing too many problems. But you've gone and solved all of that for me. It's just incredible.
But you're supposed to be some antisocial shut-in. Why are you so happy to be kicked out of the house? You don't have a man or a job or anything.
Elena, I've told you 1,000,000 times already, I do have a job. And I've contributed more than my fair share into expenses for the house. In fact, I was even giving Mom and Dad $1,000 a month to spend on whatever they wanted.
Wait, you were helping them pay for things around the house and you gave them an allowance?
Well, you know how Mom is always complaining about me hanging around the house so much, right? I actually agreed to pay them some money every month so that they could try and find things to do outside of the house while I worked.
So, then you've been just working from home this whole time?
That's right. You remember a few years ago when Mom fell and broke one of her legs, right? Well, after that, she insisted that I find a job I can do from home so that I could take care of her. So I quit my job and found one that would let me do all of my work from home. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but I did it for Mom.
Are you serious about all this? I really had no idea at all.
Well, it's true, but I hate working from home and it leaves me feeling more drained than when I used to go into an office for work. Not only that, but I feel like I'm on double duty at home because of having to deal with our parents. Plus, Mom just came to me recently asking me to up the money I was giving her from $1,000 to $1,500 a month. I knew then that I'd have to find a way to get out of living with them.
Mom wanted $1,500 a month just to go out and find things to do during the day?
Pretty much, although I understand that she just uses all the money to take bi-weekly trips to a spa resort instead.
Why am I just learning about all of this now?
Elena, I really can't thank you enough for freeing me from that life. I was busy looking for a new job and even a new place. I reached out to my current job asking if they had any options for me, and they said they were looking for someone to go on a business trip. I had to move to a new department within the company, but if it meant getting out of the house for a while, I couldn't turn it down. But now, thanks to you, I don't even have to worry about going back home ever again now.
Wait, hold on, I'm still so confused. So you're telling me the truth about all of this? Even giving Mom and Dad an allowance? I won't have to pay them anything like that though, will I?
That really isn't any of my business, sis. You're gonna have to talk that one out with Mom and Dad. But I know that they've been using that money to get into some new hobbies that are apparently quite expensive. And they won't be content to just live off their retirement money either. So I can't imagine they would be very happy if all their fun money just dried up overnight. Although, now that I'm kicked out of the house, I don't have to worry about that anymore. That's your problem to deal with now.
Carrie, you have got some explaining to do, young lady. Did you hear about how your sister got laid off? Your father and I just heard the news about Elena and her husband now.
Wait a second, both Carrie and her husband were laid off at the same time?
Well, you did know that they worked at the same place, didn't you? And unfortunately, their company had to make some staff cuts and neither of them made it.
Wow, well, it sounds like things are a real mess over there then.
I thought something might have been up when she asked if they could move in with your father and I. But we have no idea it was because the two of them had lost their jobs.
Okay, Mom, just settle down for a second. It's not either their fault that they lost their jobs in some corporate downsizing. But I'm sure they'll be able to find new jobs right away.
I certainly hope so, but either way, it takes time to find new jobs. And until they do, and are making money again, you're going to have to keep helping us pay our bills. Not to mention the money your dad and I continue with all of our new hobbies. I just don't understand how could this happen. How are we supposed to pay all of our debts at this rate?
Wait, your debts? What do you mean by that, Mom?
Well, I told you that your dad and I had picked up some new hobbies that cost money, didn't I? One of those new hobbies just happened to be playing poker at a casino.
You've been using the money I've been giving you to gamble?
Well, at first it was just a little bit of money. But before we knew it, we'd lost all track of time. We weren't going on trips or anything, just spending all of our money at the poker table. We just thought if we had one big break, we could win everything we'd lost back.
I can't believe you two!
Well, blame your father. He's the real one with the issue. He just doesn't know when to stop. He keeps going to the ATM, says that he doesn't have any more money left in the bank.
And so now you two are in debt because of this. Just how much money do you owe?
It's sitting at something like $5,000 or so. But we were using that money that you gave us to help pay that down. So that's why you can't just stop giving us money, because you're not living here anymore. Especially now that I know Elena and her husband are unemployed.
Well, it sounds to me like you two haven't done a very good job of paying that down at all.
Carrie, please. You need to do this for your family. We're begging you here. We know that you have a job, but And we won't ask for too much. Forget the 1,500, but at least keep sending us the 1,000.
You've got a lot of nerve asking me for money after helping Elena throw me out of the house. I don't think I owe you anything after that.
You little brat! What kind of way is that to respond finding out that your parents are in financial trouble? What happened to the sweet daughter who changed jobs just to take care of us?
I'm afraid that girl is long gone, Mom. You and Dad only have yourselves to blame for getting rid of her.
Just what is that supposed to mean?
Means that if you want money, you're gonna have to start working again and earning for yourselves. I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
I can't believe you, Carrie! You're the worst! And I can't stand living with Mom anymore. She is driving me crazy!
Oh, Elena, what's the matter? I thought that you were looking forward to finally living with our parents again.
Don't you pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. Did you know all about the debt they have?
I actually just learned about it recently. I had no idea about it while you were throwing me out, but afterwards Mom told me about it.
Well, I also just found out about those two spending all their time at the casino gambling their money away. Apparently they're already $10,000 in the hole.
Oh, really? Wow, that's twice the amount that Mom said the debt was.
She told me the same number you did. But I did some investigating in their accounts and found out they really owe $10,000. Can you believe that? How could they be so irresponsible?
I really do have to agree with you on that one, Elena.
And now Mom won't get off my back about finding a new job. She's coming into my room every day, asking if anyone has called back for an interview yet. And she keeps spamming with me with links to various job listings, and she isn't giving me any privacy at all.
Okay, Elena, let's just take a breath here. I mean, Mom and Dad have always been like this. You know that. Isn't that the reason why you got married and moved out as quickly as you did?
Well, yeah, but I guess I thought they would have chilled out after all this time.
I'm afraid that I can tell you from first-hand experience that they have not.
But none of this is my fault anyways. It's not like I was fired. I was let go because my company had to downsize. We barely have any savings of our own as things are now. That's why when I thought you were just goofing at home without working, I figured that it was my turn to live off on Mom and Dad for a while. And after I go through all of the work to kick you out, I found out that Mom and Dad are actually swimming in debt.
I'm sorry, but it sounds to me like I'm not the one you should be mad at. Mom took me for granted and spread lies about me to you, and look where it got you both.
Well, that's not my fault. Mom was lying to me, so I can't be responsible for my actions. And now that Mom knows I don't have a job anymore, she's just a jerk. And on top of that, she won't stop asking me for money or making me clean up around the house. Plus, we barely have enough money to feed all of us, so there are some nights where I'm going to bed without dinner just to make sure Mom and Dad are fed.
I'm afraid that I had to do the exact same thing you did. I had to be smart about how to budget my money for all of us. And there were times where I had to skip meals for their sakes as well.
But I think Mom is doing it to punish me sometimes. Even when I know we have food, she won't let me have any unless I had gone for at least 3 job interviews that day. How am I supposed to keep going on like this?
Sounds to me like you'll just have to grit your teeth and get through it. But don't worry, I'm sure that even if you do everything you can to take care of her, in the end, she'll still complain about you to whoever will lend an ear.
But that's just what happened to you.
You know, the more I hear someone else describe exactly what I went through, the more grateful I am that I'm leaving. So again, thank you so much for everything, Elena.
If you're really thankful, then the least you can do is give me some money. We're seriously just on the edge here. And I don't know how much more of Mom I can take. Please, I'm so sorry for everything, but you have to help us.
Not gonna happen. Good luck with all that. I heard that Elena tried to stick it out with my parents for a bit longer before her and her husband got fed up and left. And although they hadn't found full-time jobs, they both started working several part-time jobs to afford a small apartment for them both. Without either of their children to live off of, my mom flew into a bit of a panic and begged for either of us to come back. When I got those messages, I simply blocked my mom and everything and eventually got a new phone number.